If you have a scary story that you'd like me to read on my channel, then please send them into my email or on my Twitter DMs, which are open to all. I hope you all enjoy the video and hear 3 true scary subscriber submitted horror stories. This story isn't super scary or long, but it really freaked me out at the time. It was a Tuesday night at about 11:30 PM and I was in my kitchen. I have a basement below my kitchen and I heard a weird tinkering noise. We have a landline which sometimes acts up, so I removed it from its placeholder, but the sound persisted. I realized it came from the basement, so I went down the stairs and the noise briefly stopped. When I reached the base of them, I turned my head down the hallway and heard a female whisper. I then bolted up 2 flights of stairs, petrified and stumbling as I did so. My first husband and I went to eat at a great Chinese restaurant. At the end of the meal, my husband opened up his fortune cookie. There was no fortune. After 2 more tries, the waiter brought an older Chinese man to us. He handed our ticket and money back to us and told my husband, "I regret to inform you, but you have no future." He died a year later. This happened about 8 years ago when I was 11 years old, but I remember it clear as day. Me, my dad and stepmom had just moved into this trailer. It was small and you could walk through the living room, the kitchen and my parents' bedroom in about a dozen steps. There was also no wall separating the kitchen and the living room, just a counter. Since we were just moving in, we didn't get all our stuff in one day, so I had to sleep on the couch. I was a really laid-back kid, so I didn't care. That night, after watching TV, I fell asleep on the couch facing inward towards it. A few hours later, I awoke, still facing inwards. I looked up at the window above the couch I was sleeping on. It must have been around 6 o'clock because the sun was barely up, just enough to illuminate the room a bit and turn the sky a light shade of violet. I turned around, and that's when I saw it. It was a big black silhouette standing over me. It looked to be in the shape of a man, and I'm guessing it was 7 feet tall, as its head almost touched the roof of the trailer. It was black as charcoal. This thing didn't have eyes or any facial features, but I felt as though it was somehow staring at me. Quickly I turned around and threw my blanket over my head. As soon as the blanket was over my head, I started to pray that this thing wouldn't hurt me. I was scared to go asleep over the fear of what might happen, but I ended up sleeping anyways as I was just so tired. I awoke what was probably an hour later to my dad making breakfast in the kitchen. The next day, my bed finally got moved to my room, and I was happy about that. I didn't tell my parents about the night before for fear that they wouldn't believe me. My room was small and the bed took up half the space, but I didn't complain. I was happy that I didn't have to sleep on the couch with that thing from the night before watching me. Little did I know that this new room wouldn't be the escape from my terrors as I had hoped. The night it almost seemed normal, I was playing video games on my Xbox 360 and having a good time. Then I decided to go to bed. I awoke sometime later. I looked at the window next to my bed. It was nighttime. I turned over and turned on the lamp which laid on the table beside my bed. And there it was. It was in the corner of my room, the same shadowy figure from the night before. I did the exact same thing I did before, threw the blankets over my head and prayed that this thing would leave me alone. I don't know why, but this shadowy figure's presence gave me intense fear. I don't know if it was because I was young and scared at the time or what. This figure continued to appear in my room almost every time I woke up suddenly in the night. Sometimes in the corner of the room and sometimes right next to the bed. We lived in that trailer for almost a year, but had to move out as my stepmom was pregnant with my little brother and we needed a bigger house. After we moved out, the sightings of the black figure stopped. I heard someone moved into our old trailer. I hope they don't endure what I endured living there.